Hey there.
Hey Fritz, how are you?
Hey, all good, thanks. And you?
1 second. My audio, I can't seem to hear you.
And now, any better?
All right, there we go. Hey Megan, how are you?
Hi, Megan.
Hello.
Hi, Shane.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
All good, thanks. And you?
Good, good. Doing awesome, man. Doing really good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, my pleasure. You asked first.
Yeah. Yeah. So where are you located?
I'm in Cape Town.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I'm in Reno, Nevada. So it's a
Okay,
little, yeah, it's starting to get a little warmer here, but it's a little, usually there's a lot of snow and skiing and stuff like that because we're by like Lake Tahoe and the Truckee area. So, yeah, it's getting a little warmer here, a little warmer as we get going further on in the month.
nice. That's awesome. Nevada.
Everybody knows that's where Las Vegas is at. So that's how most people know. It's like Las Vegas and then Reno.
It's
Um, awesome. So we got Daniel and Megan on too. Cool. It's kind of cool. I've never, it's, I didn't know it automatically gave us a background. Hey, Daniel, how are you? And if you can hear us. Hey, Megan, how are you doing?
Oh,
Oh,
There we
very
go.
good.
Sorry, my mic was muted. How you doing, Shane?
Good, man. I'm doing well. Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to have everyone here. We're just waiting on one last person, Izabella, and then we'll get started here. But hope everyone's doing well.
So Isabella just sent something. I don't know if you saw the email. She goes, I can see the panelists, but seems to me I'm not visible. So maybe she might have the wrong link.
I see right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
she's busy sending messages in the chat as well.
Ah, there she
okay.
is.
Okay, there. I just allowed you to talk here. That should get you
Hi.
access.
Can you
Do you
hear
have
me the
screen
video?
share access, Isabella?
I am here like absolutely not the panelist. I supposed to be the panelist, but
Yeah.
don't have any options except Q&A. So I'm here probably like a
Let me
participant, but
see
not
here.
as the panelist.
Got it. Let me look at getting you a link here. 1 second.
The link I joined is the one that been sent in the morning. Is it the regular webinar link?
If you don't mind trying that one, let me have the team get you one here.
Finally.
There we go.
I rejoined with just copy pasting the link instead of the button. I don't know why Zoom worked this way.
Not a problem. Okay, we have everyone here. Okay, cool. So I'll go ahead and kick us off here. Thank you everyone for taking the time to join the webinar today and preparing your topics. So I'm Daniel, CEO of SET Agency, and I'll be the host today for our omni-channel strategies to fight tariffs. So we'll go ahead and get started. And first we'll hear from Izabella. Going to have her touch on how to win on Amazon without paying for ads. So go ahead and take it away, Izabella.
Hey guys, my name is Izabella Ritz. For those of you that don't know, moved to United States in 2015, sold on Amazon also since 2015. Serial entrepreneur doing not just business on Amazon and e-commerce, but also equestrian. Literally, as of right now, running equestrian riding school, and we started January 25th. We're 2 months in, and we're up to 60 riders. The goal is 242, which will bring us to the first million in a year. Today, I'm going to share with you AI tip how you are able to create a pre-launch campaign that can get you to $1 million launch. It can be within a month, it can be within a year. It's really up to you, because the way when you have a tool, the way you are going to use the tool, it depends if you're a baby or if you're an expert, and we can't give really power tools to the babies. So here's the tool. I created it myself. I really spent 7.5 hours by doing it. Can you see one screen, right? Can you see Poe? No?
Yep,
Yes,
we can
no?
see Poe. Yep.
Okay, cool. Let me reshare it again. So here's it's called No PPC Launch. And if I will start, so if I'm going to this chat, I can just simply say, hey, to start it. And then the tool will ask me simply, to be polite, what's my name? I'll provide my name, and then it's asking me what product I'm planning to launch. Of course, it will prime you that like we're about to launch a product for $1 million without PPC. And if you guys will give me an idea what product you want to launch, I can use one of your ideas, so I can come up with like anything random. So if you guys want to drop something into the chat, free to do it. If not, or you're thinking a little bit longer, let me take double wall coffee cup. So, and the next thing will be happening, it's asking me what is the retail price of the coffee cup. I would say $49, not 90, $49. So, and now bot is saying that he wants to structure the tailored strategy to scale my coffee cup to 1 million without PPC, and I'm saying go for it. You can always reply something else. So now, first one is influencer strategy for $1 million launch, and it tells me how many influencers do I have to have. So I have to have 132 micro influencers. I have to have mid-tier 80 influencers. I have to have 12 high-tier influencers to sell in total 20,408 units, which is, if we will multiply this number to 49, should be $1 million. So the platforms we can use is like TikTok, Instagram, blah, 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 right? And also it gives me immediately the copy for the outreach. And the copy can be completely different for every single time you are using it. It also tells you that the bulk outreach will be always more beneficial for you. And if you want to streamline the process, you can reach out to me and get on board with Levanta, because we have a very special price with them. And you can literally get thousands of influencers ready to promote you within 2 to 3 months from the moment of your signing up. And then it tells you also that you can execute it in 3 phases: pre-launch, launch week, and post-launch week. So now it's asking me if we want to generate full customized outreach for every single one of them. I was saying, yes, sir. You can call this ma'am or it, she, they, whatever you want it. So micro-influencer, I've got an exciting opportunity for you and your audience who would launch blah, 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 this product. You want, if you're open to promoting it, you'll earn $15 for every sale. And in the previous chat, you probably saw that it's not GPT, Poe prompted you that you will get 10% back from Amazon. So you're technically not paying 20% from your sale, you're paying 10% from your sale, because with Amazon attribution, like, you're also always getting money back. So now this is the outreach for mid-tier influencer and for the high-tier influencer as well. So now, if we are satisfied with this, we just simply click next. So you don't have to be genius to continue to go to the next step. Now we're building the email funnel where we will be able to create pre-launch, launch, and post-launch strategies. So, and first we're building the funnel. And we are being based on 5,000 subscribers, which usually is very helpful when you are launching $100,000 to $200,000 within, like, products within first couple of weeks. And it's proven. We launched with, I believe we had like 3,000 subscribers, and we got into $120,000 in December. So, with a completely new launch. And here, like, the strategy and the emails that are already structured with the CTA link. So now it's asking me, would you like me to generate your full sequence email, blah, blah, blah. Yes, please. So it will generate for you the full sequence based on your product. And it tells you, like, we've got exciting news, we're announcing double wall, coffee mug, and the way how it's going to be beneficial for you. And then it will be upsell, that you can upsell it for just $1 by going on the special list, and yada, yada, yada. So if it looks great, we're just saying next. And of course, you can always tweak, you can always make it better based on your product benefits, and make it more efficient, or make it more prettier and refine it. Generally speaking, the primary thing that you have already, the structure. Now it's a landing page copy, because how you're going to launch something if you don't have a landing page? And it gives you the headlines, and it's not going to be something boring. Like, here's like innovative double bowl coffee cup keeps you brewing piping hot for hours. So, which means it's not already something overused. The phrases are here, and the voice of this copy is pretty efficient, pretty good. It's not something that sound like boring GPT. If it looks good to me, I'm saying yes, and we're moving to the next one. So now Facebook ad copy. If you don't know how to advertise and what copy do you have to include, you can utilize this specific one, right? And then if it looks good to me, we're saying next. So we're moving to the next step. And now we have viral AI reel strategy with complete copy and strategy for every single reel. So we're going through problem solution hook, we're going through trending challenging formats, we're going through unboxing demos, we're going through customer review simulation, and etc. So you can always ask to do more, and then if it's great, you're going to the next step. Now you're going through the referral NPR strategy, and it tells you how you're supposed to structure those. Of course, you have to read. It doesn't mean it will do it for you. You have to go through the steps. And if everything is great, you can just say great, or just click next. And then it gives you the 90-day execution timeline. So when are you going through the pre-launch phase, when you're going through the launch week, when you're going through the post-launch week, it tells you what exactly you're supposed to do on every single day and step, and what will be your step. And generally speaking, that's it. And if you want to get access to this one, you can scan the QR code, add yourself to my WhatsApp chat, and I'm hosting the AI challenge later today in an hour, and you can join that AI challenge by getting linked through this chat as well. So I'm done.
Awesome. Thank you, Izabella. And yeah, guys, if you guys are interested, feel free to scan that QR code or reach out to Izabella here to learn more about Poe. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next panelist here, which will be me. I'm going to share my screen, and I'll go over a few US optimization strategies on just general marketplaces. Okay, can you guys see my screen here? Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. So I wanted to talk just at a high level, some few U.S. marketplace optimization strategies for Amazon, Shopify, Walmart, and TikTok. So thinking of ways on how we can lower costs to fight tariffs here. So starting with Amazon. Going to go over the basics, but very important to make sure you have your Amazon US optimized. So that means SEO driven product listings. So having SEO terms throughout your copywriting, title, bullet points, making sure you have your branding in place. So A+ content, storefront, photo tiles, making sure all of those are in place. You can also use Amazon experiments, A/B tests, to find out which ones are going to drive true conversion and actual sales. That way you can just continually have a better product page. So making sure optimized product pages are going to help with increasing your conversion, and then getting into those additional marketplaces, not necessarily going through the setup process of working with a logistics partner, gaining VAT, and having someone down in that country to be for localization. So this would more take the approach of using NARF, and this is specific to Amazon. You're probably familiar with this program. It's North American Remote Fulfillment, but essentially it's just going to allow you to use and access Canada, Mexico, and Brazil. In North America, those are the only marketplaces it's available for, but it's going to allow you to keep your fulfillment centers in the US and use that inventory there for Canada, Mexico, or Brazil. So just thinking of ways to get into an additional marketplace, but not necessarily go through some large setup costs, but still have the ability to sell there. Okay, I'm going to touch a bit with Shopify here. Nothing too in depth, but again, making sure we have our Shopify website optimized. And more than likely, most brand revenue is going to come from Amazon. So trying to reduce the reliance on Amazon, either by driving paid ads to your website, using influencers, and then making sure you have organic SEO to help diversify in that new marketplace. Additionally, using Shopify ads like Reconvert, one-click upsell, these can help with cart recovery and upsell strategies, and help with improving your customer retention. Know that we mentioned, trying to build less reliance on Amazon, but depending on how you have your inventory stored, implementing Buy with Prime may help with reducing the cost logistically, and then it does help with bringing a bit more trust and conversion to your website there. And then as you expand into a new marketplace with Shopify, just making sure that you have the local payment method set up in that currency, and then also considering some 3PL fulfillment solutions. And again, looking for tariff-free distributions. And then with Shopify, you're able to collect a lot more customer information than you are with Amazon, TikTok, or really any other sales channel. So utilizing that information by building email automation funnels that could be for like abandoned carts, post-purchase upsells. If you put together like a loyalty program, utilizing that customer information that you gain in the new marketplace to help with driving repeat sales or driving subscribe and save if your product is subscribable. Okay, so for Walmart, same story here, making sure it's optimized. So Walmart's not going to be, I guess, as fleshed out as Amazon or Shopify. They don't yet have a NARF program where they can take you or use your US inventory, use it into Canada, Mexico. The available marketplaces they have is Canada, Mexico, and Chile. So you would have to set up logistics, find a carrier to get that faster shipping. And at scale, it would give you lower import costs, but initial launches may have a bit higher cost there. So with Walmart, it's going to be more of a presence play, not necessarily a marketplace to push heavy. If it makes sense and you're already expanding, let's say on the Amazon side and the Shopify side, you can also do it for the Walmart marketplace if it's in Mexico, Canada, or Chile. Okay, the last sales channel that I'm going to talk about is TikTok. This one's going to be more for awareness. TikTok doesn't yet have the expansion services like Amazon Narf, but more along the lines of using TikTok as a advertising medium in the new marketplace, but not necessarily selling through TikTok Shop in that marketplace. So let's say we're expanding or trying to expand to Europe, having a TikTok profile set up in that marketplace to help drive more awareness and engagement can be helpful whenever you launch into it in Shopify or Amazon here. So also just repurposing content, it could be a fairly straightforward process for the brand. If you already have Instagram Reels, Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, making those cross uploaded or vice versa there to just drive some more engagement. And you can also offer an exclusive promotion for each area that you're uploading on, just to see which one's going to perform best for that marketplace. And then if the brand has enough followers or 1,000 followers on their TikTok, they can go live. Again, just helping drive awareness here. Different types of contents that they could run with would be like an owner-led live, where it's more around behind the scenes insights from the founder, brand owner, or around a live selling product showcase, where it's just real-time unboxing, Q&As, and limited deals. But again, TikTok, thinking more along the lines as using it as a awareness play rather than going through the setup, finding logistic carriers, and trying to sell in that new marketplace. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to touch on is manufacturing and intellectual property. So just with the different tariffs going around, could be thinking of relocating to a country that is lower tariff or non-tariff. So shifting productions over to countries like Vietnam, India, or Eastern Europe, where the tariffs are lower, could help. Only thing with this is just making sure that if you are relocating, that manufacturer is adhering to labor laws, and then also it fits your brand reputation. And if you're into supplements or any consumables, making sure that they have GMPs. But those are some different ways that you can kind of diversify each channel, but also try to lower costs just with tariffs coming in here. The last thing is just securing a design and utility patent. This one does cost a bit more to get a design and utility patent, but if it's a larger push and you're going into additional marketplaces, there's going to be additional competitors, more copycats. So having the ability to enforce that can really help with increasing your brand value here. But in conclusion, I just want to say that omnichannel expansion and operational efficiencies is going to help with lowering your costs to fight tariffs without necessarily increasing prices. So that's kind of everything that I had on my side that I wanted to go over. If you guys are interested to learn more, feel free to contact us at ProventusAgency.com. We are offering a free month of TikTok Shop. And then also, if you're interested to learn more about our expert insights, we are offering a free audit on Amazon channels as well. And again, you can contact us at ProventusAgency.com or email us at jacob@ProventusAgency.com. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. We're going to move on to our next panelist. There we go. Okay, so next we'll hear from Shane. He's going to talk about the danger of negative reviews.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. So yeah, thank you everybody for taking the time today to jump on this webinar. I know when we kind of think about tariffs, and obviously a lot of those are going to be coming here in the next few months if they're not already taking place. And once again, what does negative reviews have to do with tariffs, right? So I will let you guys know that obviously if there's more tariffs and everything, and you have certain manufacturers in certain countries, obviously your cost is going to go up. You got to figure out if you're going to give that to the consumer or if you're going to eat those costs. But I will tell you, the direct correlation between reviews is that, when you remove negative reviews and you get more positive reviews, obviously that's great for social proof. It also helps build credibility. It also lowers your PPC cost because once again, the higher reviews that you guys have, the lower the PPC cost can be. And then also, the best case scenario is obviously it improves sales, right? Because that can improve your BSR and it also improves your star rating. So we know there's a huge dip when it comes to people. If you get a 4.3 and you go down to a 4.2, you can lose anywhere from 10 to 50% of your sales. So once again, at the end of the day, the tariffs are what they are, and you got to kind of take a look at that. If there's other countries that don't have high tariffs, which I think can be awesome, but really at the end of the day, the review thing is just absolutely, that's the lifeline of Amazon, and we're here to show you guys ways that you guys can be able to remove your own negative reviews, and I'll kind of go into that. Great. So what we're talking about today is the danger of negative reviews and how to combat them. My name is Shane Barker. I'm actually the owner of TraceFuse. Once again, as I said, thank you guys so much for taking the time today. We'll jump into this. So some of the things that you need to know, I think it's important that, a lot of people, I talk to probably 40 to 50 sellers a week. And I would tell you that every time I ask them, hey, have you guys had any success with removing reviews? The most I've ever heard of is probably about 1%, right? 1% of those things that you're filing on. I can tell you that our success rate is going to be right around about 10%, a little higher in some categories, like in supplements and pet and those are the categories that there's a little more aggression that's happening. Also, another thing that I think is important for sellers is that when you're filing cases, and I'm going to give you kind of show you where you guys can file cases later on in the presentation, but make sure you take the emotion out of it. All right, when you're sending emails and filing cases with Amazon, Amazon cares about you, but at the end of the day, they don't. If you're writing something that's emotional and hey, Amazon, you need to get this done, and hey, you need to do this, Amazon doesn't work for you, right? So what you got to do is you got to be able to take a step back and think about, okay, what does Amazon care about, right? And what Amazon cares about is the consumer. So you got to think about how this affects the consumer, not how this is affecting your business, right? And kind of think about that from Amazon's perspective. And the other thing is also read the community guidelines. So everything that we do when we file cases, they're in alliance with the community guidelines. So that's the reason why we're 100% compliant with Amazon, is because we know the community guidelines and we know if they get changed and then what that looks like. So that's another thing you really want to memorize the community guidelines so you know, because I talk to a lot of sellers and they say, oh, I didn't know that you couldn't mention a competitor. Oh, I didn't know you couldn't mention pricing, right? Or, oh, I didn't know that there's certain things that they had. I didn't even know that was a possibility to get those removed. Well, guess what? If you read the guidelines, and you'll have a better idea of what can be removed, what can't be removed. So now we're going to talk about what's allowed or what's not allowed, right, in regards to reviews. So some of these might shock you, but I'm going to go through them real quick. So the seller order or shipping feedback. So obviously if you're an FBA product and you guys ship out through FBA and there's a problem with shipping or there's a broken product or something, that obviously it's on the shoulders of Amazon, right? So obviously that was something that we would be filing on, or you guys can file on those as well. Comments about pricing or availability. So, if you can't say, hey, this is an expensive product, it's $40, can't believe I paid that. You can't mention pricing or availability if that's an issue. Contact written or unsupported languages. So in certain countries, certain languages are allowed and other languages are not allowed. Private information, talking about the owner or anything like that, or information, private, information that only the people internally should know about. Profanity or harassment, hate speech, sexual content, external links, right? No affiliate links or anything like that. Add conflict of interest, promotional content, compensated reviews. So in other words, where somebody got some kind of a gift card, got something, free product to review, and plagiarism, infringement, and impersonation, and then obviously illegal activity. So those are all the things. That's just a high-level view of some of the things that are in the guidelines to think about. All right, so if you guys want to remove negative reviews on your own, so this is a DIY. So what we've done is I've included this for you. Obviously, I can give you guys copies of the presentation, or you can screenshot it or something. But the first thing you want to do is you want to click the report button. That's always what Amazon asks you to do. If you go and report something, they say, hey, make sure you click the report button. So great, we're going to go ahead and do that. then you want to send an email to community-help@amazon.com. And once again, if they don't respond there, then you can go ahead. You want to make sure that when you're filing these cases, you're not going to get an update within an hour. So you don't need to bombard Amazon and keep emailing them over and over and over. Give them a day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days. Give them days to respond. But I would absolutely add it to your calendar, because if they don't respond or they say it's been taken care of, then obviously you're going to want to set either do a follow-up case, or if the case has been shut down, or you can ask for an update. You can send escalations to seller-performance@amazon.com. So that's if you have an escalation email. That can be if you feel that you've been attacked, like somebody maybe is coming and just giving your products 1 stars and you've got multiple of those, right? And one of the things that we look at when we look at the fraud side of things, when we're looking at that for our clients, is obviously if somebody came and just gave you a 1 star and you have to 5-year products, and they just happen to buy your competitors' products and they have all 5 stars, and the products are very similar, then obviously that's an escalation case. And we're going to Amazon and saying, hey, this is a sock puppet account. There's something fishy going on here. They hate our products. They happen to love our competitors' products, and the products are very similar. And so anyways, those are the types of things that we look at, and you can look at that too, obviously, when people write reviews for you. You can also use brand registry. That's going to be highly recommended. Obviously, if a product has brand registered, that's going to be an upside. And then the other thing is do not use seller support. So that used to be an avenue back in the day, but it is no longer an avenue anymore. So just know that if you do that and you don't get a response, there's a reason for that. So great. Now we're going to talk about what you're going to actually include when you guys are going to be filing that case. So the first thing you're going to want to do is include the ASIN in question, right? You're also going to put the buyer's name and link. You want to put the link to the review. You also want to put the review title and the review body. What is the violation? And I've got some, and of course, the next question is, okay, how do I know if it's in violation? You look at the guidelines, but I actually have a tool for you guys that we literally just launched yesterday. So you guys are literally the first people that are seeing this. So this should be good. So great. You're going to put in what is the violation, right? Obviously, those tie back to the guidelines. And then we explain the desired result from an email to Amazon. Like, what do you want to do, right? We want you to delete this review. We want you to, whatever. You want to let them know what the next steps are. Usually it's to delete the review, obviously. So great. I'm going to tell you guys, just before I tell you guys about the tool that you guys can use for free, our little humble brag moment is going to be that, just so everybody knows, TraceFuse, we've been in business for a number of years. We actually removed over 12,000 critical reviews for our clients. That's, once again, fully 100% compliant with Amazon, all white hat, nothing gray, nothing black, nothing like that. Once again, we do everything above board. And then once again, we work with some of the top sellers, and we have about 450, probably closer to 500 clients now. And on average, we do about our success rate or remove rate is right around 10%. But as I said earlier, sometimes we've gotten up to 27% for like supplement brands, sometimes pet, sometimes beauty, because it's high profit margins and easier to ship stuff. All right, enough about that. Now let's get into the tool that you guys can use. So if you guys go to tracefuse.ai/Amazon-review-checker, we just launched this. And so what this is going to be, this is a free tool that you guys can use. You guys can go and put in your ASIN URL, or you can put in your ASIN. You're going to click the check product details. And what will happen is a thing will pop up and it'll say, hey, we're going to get in a report together for you. You have to put in your name and your email address, and then we will send you a report. And I'm going to show you guys what the report looks like. The idea of this report is what we do is we're pulling the violations that we feel are the lowest hanging fruit, the ones that are going to be the highest violations out of all of the critical reviews you have. Obviously, it's better if you have more critical reviews, because then we have more information to sift through to be able to find the best ones. If you're a new product and you're going to put this in here and you only have 3 critical reviews, guess what? Maybe none of them are against Amazon's guidelines or even have any kind of fraudulent activity. So it's better to have an ASIN that has more critical reviews. I'm not encouraging you to get critical reviews. Like, you don't ever want to do that. But if you do have a product that once again is more established, that would be a good start. So great. Go ahead and tracefuse.ai/Amazon-review-checker. And then what will happen is within the few hours after you authorize your email address and everything, you'll get a report that looks something like this. So what you'll see is you can see the picture of the product. You can see the ASIN. You can see how many reviews. You see the 1, 2s, and 3 stars. So there's 32 1 stars, 57 2 stars, and 176 3 stars. And then you'll see here we have the review IDs there. And actually, those will all be clickable. Has the review title, has the star rating, 1, 2s, or 3s, because we only go after critical reviews, which once again is 1, 2s, and 3s, and the reason for the non-compliance. So we actually give you the reason. And so you guys don't need to go and read the guidelines and try to figure it out. You guys can actually go in there, put in that ASIN. It'll tell you what the issue is. And then what you can do is you can take this, and we have the email addresses that we gave to you earlier where you can file cases, and then you can do escalation cases as well. Once again, the goal of this is to use this report to be able to get the information to Amazon. And what I talked about in the slides before this, those are all the things you're going to want to include in your case filing. If you don't include those, you're just going to get ignored. So you want to make sure you have that information in there. And then alternatively, if you guys file cases and Amazon doesn't respond or doesn't listen, or you guys don't get a favorable response, you guys can always reach out to us. Obviously, we are a paid service. But the good part is that we do a number of things. We also protect ASINs. We do monitoring for ASINs. If you are worried about getting attacked, that's all baked into our service. The other thing you'll see up here is we have a review calculator. If you can see that right in the right-hand corner, that actually is going to be a way. So when you click on that, what that'll do is you have a little thing you can toggle across. So if you want to get from a 3.9 to a 4.0, it'll tell you approximately how many positive reviews you need to add and how many critical reviews we're going to need to remove for you guys, or how many critical reviews you guys need to remove. So once again, that calculator's in beta. It's always in beta. You know, we don't have the exact measurements, but it is very close. So that'll give you a good idea to be able to take a look at that and see what it's going to take to get up in that star rating. Once again, let's say you guys go and try this and you file cases and you get frustrated and it doesn't work, or whatever the deal is, right? Amazon doesn't respond. If you guys want to work with us, obviously this is what we do. We've removed over 12,000 reviews for our clients to date. Once again, fully compliant with Amazon. The other thing that we also do is we also offer a promotion right now. You guys can click this little QR code and you guys will get your first 2 reviews removed for free. So what you can do is you can click on that. We either can do a demo or you guys can sign up. We do have a one-time onboarding fee and a monitoring fee, but that's a lifetime monitoring fee. So just so you know, so any ASINs you have active with us, the beauty of that is that, you know, if a month before Christmas or Prime Day and you guys start getting attacked, we will automatically see those reviews come into our dashboard and we will file on those, assuming there's something against Amazon's guidelines or there might be something fraudulent there. So once again, try it yourself, DIY, get out there, do it yourself. If you're not able to get those reviews removed and it's getting closer up to Prime Day, Christmas, any your big holidays, once again, you can reach out to us and we would love to be able to help you guys get those reviews removed. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time today. Once again, Shane Barker, this is my direct email. This is our website. And Daniel and the team, thank you so much for having us today. This is an honor to be here today.
Awesome. Thank you, Shane. And sorry, guys, for some reason, my webcam is having issues and Zoom is prompting me to refresh. But if I do that, it's going to reset our meeting here. So I'll just have my camera off for the remainder here. But yeah, I was thinking, Shane, just around a question around TraceFuse here. Is there any particular category that you're seeing the most traction with on like successful removals or even just negative reviews that come over? It could be, like you mentioned, could be for a big selling day like Prime Day or December here. But yeah, any action on what you're seeing there?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that, like I was talking about earlier, I mean, supplements is huge for us. We have some huge supplement clients that really protect all of their ASINs. You know, some categories it's a little more aggressive, supplements being one of those, where there's a lot of attacking and kind of some nefarious stuff that goes on there. We also see in the beauty as well. I think anything that has a high profit margin is easy to ship. It's very easy for people to come and buy your product and give you a 1-star review. So that is something else that our software actually monitors as well, is that once again, when those reviews come in, we look at those and then once again, we're automatically filing. So we're really a monitoring service to make sure that those reviews, that if anything bad comes in, that you're filing automatically, because the last thing you want is a review that's against Amazon's guidelines and everybody writes that it's a helpful review, and then all of a sudden that's the #1 review you have up there, and even though it's against Amazon's guidelines, those don't always get caught. So it's better to be proactive than reactive.
Awesome. Yeah, no, agreed there. Awesome. Well, appreciate the insights, Shane. And if you guys are interested, yeah, check out Shane, contact him here at his email. And again, yeah, appreciate it, Shane.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to be hearing from Megan next on, she'll be touching on retention to maximize your customer lifetime value. Take it away, Megan.
Sorry. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm sharing my screen okay.
You're good. I can see it.
All right. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I think a key component to combating tariffs is leaning into retention and maximizing your customer value. So I'm going to talk through some strategies of how to do that today. First, I just wanted to give a little bit of background about Labyrinth Digital and myself. So first, myself, I am Megan Bortner. I'm the founder of Labyrinth Digital. I've been working in digital marketing for the past 15 years. Before starting Labyrinth, I spent time working in marketing strategy for Fortune 500 companies and started Labyrinth in 2017, wanting to help e-commerce businesses grow and kind of work with a little bit smaller, have a little bit more opportunity to touch and feel the business. Labyrinth Digital specifically, we're a growth marketing agency. We focus on helping e-commerce brands grow. Our key areas of focus, one is strategic consulting. So that's thinking through where are you at and how do you want to get to the goal and building that roadmap to get there. The second area of our services fall in the analytics component. So thinking through what do you need to measure to make sure you're on track to get to the goal. And that comes to light in terms of building dashboards or doing really custom analysis to find opportunity in data. And then finally, we are a full service marketing agency. We have the ability to handle email, SMS, and paid media from strategy to creative to platform operations to measurement. So first, before I jump into some strategies that can use, just want to talk about the impact of tariffs and what the market predictions are. So first, kind of common knowledge now is it's likely that the US is going to be experiencing tariffs on many imported goods, which is going to drive the cost upward. And then secondly, in the similar vein, with tariffs, there's likely going to be inflation, especially in the shorter term. Secondly, like some of the other speakers alluded to, at the same time, customer acquisition costs continue to increase. What we've seen on paid media for the past 7 years is every year it continues to get a little bit more expensive to acquire customers. So both of these two factors are likely going to shrink margins for businesses, that the business may pass on some of the costs of the increased prices from tariffs to the consumers, but there's likely going to be a reduction in profit margins due to being hit on both the cost and the acquisition side of things. So our recommendation is, how do you maximize the customer lifetime value of once you get it so that you can have overall just more profit for your business? A few statistics around retention. I'm sure most of you have all heard these before, but I do think it's a good reminder. One is it's 5 times cheaper to keep a customer than to get a new one. Another one is selling to an existing customer has a success rate of 60 to 70%, whereas selling to a new prospect is 5 to 20%. And then finally, something that we all know to be true, 80% of your business revenue likely comes from 20% of your customers. So I would say, especially in this time where there's increased costs, thinking through what can you do to maximize the customer lifetime value is super important. So what do you do to grow and increase your customer lifetime value? I'm going to talk about 3 key opportunities. One is building and optimizing your email and SMS program. 2 is diving into data to find key opportunities. And 3, I'm going to talk a little bit about a referral program. So first, I'll jump in and talk about email marketing. So email marketing, it can generate up to 35% of an e-commerce brand's revenue. And I would say it should at least be generating 20%. And if you're not in those benchmark numbers, you're likely underutilizing the channel. Secondly, email typically has really high returns, often the best of all of the channels. Because people choose to sign up for it, they want to hear from you. And another great thing about the email channel is there's no advertising costs. There's no whims of platforms changing how they're doing privacy or what the algorithm does. Like, you own that content and you have full control over it. And then finally, email can be really important is subscribers sign up because they want to hear from you. So they are interested. And then stepping back and thinking about email, there's 3 main types of email campaigns. One is newsletters. So think of those as your product launches, your sales. They're there to just keep your brand top of mind. The second area, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about, is lifecycle communications. And this is where 40 to 60% of your email program's revenue will come from. And examples of those types of communications would be your welcome series, your post-purchase, your re-engagement. And then the final one that we've all seen is just your transactional emails. So those are like your receipts, your shipping confirmation. So those are the 3 main types. For the purposes of today and thinking through how do you maximize customer retention, I'm going to talk about lifecycle communications. So the customer lifecycle starts with somebody when they subscribe to your program, and everything in green in this slide is thinking through what is your goal is to get that first action, which oftentimes in e-commerce is purchase. So communications in these parts of the life cycle are often welcome. And that's when you want to tell your customers a little bit more about your brand, give them those proof points, just content that supports them to take that first action that you want. And then as they get closer to that purchase, you'll often see communications in place like your browse abandonment, meaning they looked at a product, but they abandoned, an abandoned cart where they added to their cart, but they didn't check out. You'll want to make sure you have communications in place for all of these key moments. The second area of the customer lifecycle is once they've made a purchase, what do you do to get more value from the customer as well as give them a better experience? So often you'll see communications that are post-purchase. So maybe they bought something, how do they get the most use out of it? You'll often see communications like cross-selling of they bought one thing, what should they buy next? There's things like purchase anniversary or surprise and delight. And all of these are designed to, 1, get more sales for you as the business, and 2, give that customer a better experience with the brand. And then the final area that's important for your own marketing program is once they stop engaging with your email or stop purchasing, what are the things you can do to bring them back? So you'll often have win back, and you'll see those in the email channel as we miss you. Here's a really good offer. Come back, see what's new. We've launched some new products. And you'll do that. And the goal is either to put them back in that blue engaged customer, or if they're really not engaged any longer, it's okay to suppress them and not mail them any longer. If you have, just like a kind of a fun fact, if you have too many unengaged subscribers, it increases the likelihood that your email campaigns may land in spam. All right, so I'll switch gears and talk a little bit about our second strategy of how do you get the most value from your customers. And that's thinking through finding opportunities in the data. So a lot of work can be done in that analysis phase of looking at what did a customer buy and what are they most likely to buy next because of what they bought, thinking through analysis of what did somebody buy, when would they likely buy the next item, and then you can optimize your communications based on some of those insights. So an example I wanted to share is Labyrinth works with a home gym equipment company. They sell items like power racks, benches, kettlebells, cardio equipment, and so on. When we started with this client, they had communications in place for post-purchase. That was about 90 days after someone bought. They would say, hey, come back, expand your gym. And that was what it was. When we actually looked at the data, what we found is most people, when they're buying home gym products, they make all of their purchases within the first 90 days. And then every so often, maybe several years down the line, they may buy one or two things. So with that in mind, we recommended moving that touch up instead of waiting 90 days, going sooner, because that's when people were actively building out their gyms. And that made a really big impact for the business. A similar analysis that guided opportunity was, we looked at the product that they bought and then what would they buy next. So for example, customers that bought power racks often bought rack attachments as their next product. So that was an opportunity to think through, those post-purchase communications, you might want to be pushing some of the attachments versus your entire catalog, because there's so much more likelihood that that's what the customer would buy next. And then finally, with these analyses, there's a lot of opportunity to do modeling for predicting what the next action the customer will take. And that's a way you can further personalize and get more value from your communications. And to make it really easy when you're small, some of the technology softwares today have predictive analytics capabilities that you can enable and use that to guide some of those opportunities. All right, and then finally, I just wanted to touch on referrals. So the referral programs can be great for both an existing customer, because it's a way for them to continue to engage with their brand. And it can be great for the business, because the referrals that the customer, that existing customer is sending out are likely cheaper to acquire than going through a paid media or another route for customer acquisition. And then a few key stats around referral programs. Customers are acquired through referrals are 37% more likely to stay. 90% of people trust recommendations from friends over ads, and friends influence 81% of purchases. So if you're dealing with increased costs for customer acquisition and decreasing profit margins due to tariffs, this can be a really easy tactic of how do you get your existing customers to spread the word and bring in customers at a cheaper cost to you. So that's the content I have for today. Thanks so much for having me. If this was interesting, you can visit our website. We're just labyrinth.digital. And if it sparks some thoughts and you wanted to talk to me specifically, feel free and send me a note. I'd be happy to jump on a call and chat further with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Megan. Really great insights on just maximizing customer lifetime value, even customer loyalty, and then also long-term revenue. And again, yeah, if you guys are interested to learn more, please reach out to Megan here at her email. Okay, we'll be hearing from Fritz next. He's going to be talking about taking advantage of Amazon's newest marketplaces.
Cool, thanks a lot. Can you see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
Sweet, I think this thing's just in the way, but that's fine. But just to start with a bit of an intro to myself, I don't think anyone would know me or Fluid SA here, but we are essentially a spin-off of an Amazon agency in Germany, a leading Amazon agency in Europe, really. And the reason we spun off was to establish a team in South Africa, which would be more cost competitive for one thing, but secondly, it would put us right in the midst of Amazon's newest marketplace, which is South Africa, which is quite a unique marketplace for a variety of reasons. It's the first in sub-Saharan Africa, the second in Africa after Egypt a couple years ago. And South Africa is in the midst and actually quite early on in an e-commerce revolution. In terms of its really rapid growth rates of penetration and overall traffic, which were key reasons for Amazon to launch in our country here. So I think this is quite relevant for you guys in the US and internationally to diversify risk and to enter a new marketplace for that reason. And I think this is a particularly awesome thing for maybe smaller businesses that would otherwise struggle to enter Amazon's most competitive marketplaces. As you would all know here, they require, I mean, you have some great strategies how to avoid spending significantly on ads. However, Amazon is generally a pay-to-play platform. And we've seen that in South Africa and similar to other new markets of Amazon's that we witnessed in the past, it actually doesn't require this pay-to-play, at least in the beginning, which is why we emphasize this first mover advantage. So very simply, there's less competition, the marketplace is less developed by Amazon itself, which makes it easier to secure top rankings without actually spending on ads. So for some of our partners, our selling partners, our clients, we've secured numerous top ranking positions, but have spent maybe $20 in like 5 months on ads. So that's quite a unique advantage. And if you can retain those top spots as Amazon's market share develops over time here, which we're very certain that it will for a variety of reasons, which we can also consider later on, then you will basically rise with the tide, a very organic increase in sales, if you can secure those and retain those top spots, which is relatively straightforward, also for a variety of reasons, which we can touch on in South Africa. And then your business is now growing awesome sales in South Africa, which is already a great win, but it's not the last step. The last step would be using that to boost or to enter a new Amazon marketplace, or a different marketplace rather, like the USA or Germany or the UK, but also other kind of more peripheral ones like Australia or anyone actually. So for a smaller business, they can use this new first mover ripe ZA, at South Africa marketplace, to have this roadmap to enter far bigger marketplaces. And for more established, bigger Amazon sellers, maybe that are already successful in whichever country, they can use it to boost their existing marketplace by sharing reviews that will be easy to generate here. And I should emphasize that in South Africa, there is an unfulfilled demand for international product offerings. So South African consumers were really expecting Amazon ZA to finally bring those international products, but it hasn't really done that because the third-party sellers from global countries, they haven't really stepped up yet. So with some of our international partners, we've seen how easy it is to fulfill that demand essentially. So it's a great opportunity for you American businesses or European ones to offer your product to a market that's really begging for it almost. And then of course the other advantage is sort of this diversification away from maybe other Western countries into the youngest continent and also the fastest growing continent, which is Africa. And with South Africa, its economic hub and leading that boom. And then this kind of last column here just speaks about hassle-free, which is working with Fluid SA. So we're a full service Amazon agency. We have premium global standards, having achieved great success in America with big sellers and Amazon's biggest marketplace, but now focusing that with the South African team on the South African marketplace in particular. But we also do service businesses in any Amazon marketplace, and it's advantageous for them to make use of kind of almost third world costs, but premium services. And that's not something we're shy to admit. It's an advantage we have of living and using the South African rand as our currency. So maybe just to touch on a couple slides here. You can see South Africa's e-commerce penetration since 2015. So it's multiplied by 8. And e-commerce growth is still faster than the international average here. So it is still continuing at a rapid rate. And yeah, I mean, just over a decade ago, half the population had bank accounts. And that shifted rapidly over the last years. And it's continuing on this track, especially in e-com in South Africa. And this is more for our South African businesses to educate them about Amazon. Here you can see beautiful Cape Town, which is, I'm somewhere right here right now, and Amazon's mega headquarters that they've built here, which also shows their long-term commitment to South Africa and what they see as possible within kind of sub-Saharan, even Central Africa. Nigeria is one of the plans for Amazon to launch into. So launching on Amazon ZA is really the gateway to Africa as a whole, which is easier than ever before with e-commerce and using Amazon's fantastic infrastructure, of course. And here we just explain the first mover advantage in more detail. You don't need to spend your way to the top, and also emphasizing that there's this opportunity to fulfill demand of South African consumers. And if you can secure this first mover advantage in South Africa soon, it's a clear chance to dominate those rankings for years to come. And that's basically the crux of the matter. Here's again just emphasizing it's hassle-free. We're equipped to handle everything from content development to compliance to full account management and logistics. And then here's just a bit more about us. And here's the roadmap listing on the undeveloped ZA, growing sales organically here, and then using that as a launchpad into Africa, into other countries, or simply enjoying that success. So I think I'll kind of let the slideshow hang here, and that's all for me. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you, Fritz. And is there a contact that people can reach out to if they're interested here for Fluid SA?
Yeah, for sure. You can just Google Fluid SA, Amazon Agency, or Fluid SA South Africa, anything like that, Amazon Agency South Africa, and you'll find us. Yeah, and contact us there.
Awesome. If you guys are interested, reach out to Fritz here. I think that's really interesting that the growth that we've seen in the last 5 years with South Africa has been really strong. And then also with Amazon headquarters showing their commitment down there. Awesome. Yeah, great insights from Fritz. Really appreciate that presentation.
Thanks.
So that kind of concludes our topics today. If you guys have any questions or have any interests, feel free to reach out to the panelists here at their email or their website. Again, thank you everyone for taking the time to prepare your topic, and then also the attendees that joined. And if there's anything that you guys are interested regarding Labyrinth Digital, Fluid SA, TraceFuse, please reach out to those guys. And again, appreciate the time everyone committed today. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.